Good morning or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's start off today by talking about these fractions right here, 1/2, 1/3, and 7/8. What if I said I wanted you to go ahead and put these fractions into the correct order from least to greatest? Would you be able to do that? Well, some of you might say that since there's a 2 on the bottom right here, 2 is going to be, 1/2 is going to be our smallest, followed by 1/3, and then followed by 7/8 because of the 8s. But I'm going to tell you right now that you can't base your decision on that. Because notice that our denominators here are different. Since our denominators are different, we got to go a little bit of a step further. And what we need to do is we need to figure out our least common multiple. Now to do that though, we're actually going to look at the numerators for this. So let's get started. Multiples of 1. I know that if I take 1 times 1, that's 1. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 7 is 7, and so on. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now look at my multiples for 7. I know 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 times 4 is 28, and so on. So what all I'm doing right now is I'm just figuring out what my multiples are. So we need to figure out now is what is our least common multiple, meaning which multiples are the same but the smallest one. So right now I can tell that my 7 and my 7 are the same. I also know that all these numbers and all these numbers are the same. But what about this third one right down here? Notice right here, if I bring it down here, notice how this 7 is the same, and this 7 is the same, and this 7 is the same. That means that I have 3 7s that are the same, so my least common multiple right now is 7. Alright, with that being said, what we're going to do now is we need to go ahead and adjust our fractions. We need to adjust these fractions to our new multiples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to make sure that all of these fractions here turn in to 7s at the top. So I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, notice what we've done here is we have put 7s as numerators on all my new fractions. So now what we got to do is we got to think to ourselves, how did we get from here to here? Well, we multiplied by 7. So down here we have to multiply by 7 as well. This is going to get us 14. Here we multiplied by 7, so we have to multiply by 7 down here, and that gets us 21. And finally, we multiplied by 1 to get here, so we have to multiply 1 here, and that gets us 7/8. So now we have all the same numerator. So now all we have to do is we have to think to ourselves, which numerator is closest to the denominator? Which numerator is closest to the denominator? Meaning, let's look at this first one. I know that 7 is away from 14. I know that it's 7 away from 14. I know here, this is 7 is 14 away from 21, and from here, 7 is only 1 away from 8. So the closer the numerator is to the denominator, the bigger it's going to be. So that means that originally, my smallest fraction is now going to be 1/3 because of that 14 away. The next biggest is going to be 1/2 because that's 7 away, and my biggest fraction is going to be 7/8 because it's only simply 1 away. And that is what we're going to be doing today. It's a little bit of a challenge, but as long as you're organized, you can do this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you one more. Here we have 3/4, 5/8, and 5/6. Just like before, we notice that our denominators are different, so we got to find the least common multiple. So let's go ahead and get started. Right now, I'm looking at my numerators. I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. We're just counting by 3s. Here, on these, we have to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. Do we see any denominators, or numerators I should say, that are the same? Well, I can tell you 15, 15, and 15. These are all the same. So that means we have to go ahead and use 15 as our new numerator. So now we got to think to ourselves is, when we go from 3, how do we get from 3 to 15? we have to multiply by 5. So let's multiply by 4 by 5. So this is going to be 15 over 20. 5 times 3 equals 15, so we got to do 8 times 3, 24. 5 times 3 equals 15, and then 6 times 3 equals 18. So the last step is we got to think to ourselves, how far away is our numerator from the denominator? Plus 5, plus 9, plus 3. So, again, the farther away your numerator is from your denominator, the smaller it is. So our smallest one is going to be 5/8 because of that 9. The second one's going to be 3/4 because of that 5, and the last one's going to be 5/6 because of that 2. Alright, boys and girls, thank you so much for checking in, and I will talk to you later.